Right now at 6, Western Wisconsin's congressman curses at colleagues during an Israel briefing. He says it's because he doesn't support current foreign policy.
And child care grants. $500,000 in leftover pandemic relief money is going to La Crosse County providers in need.
Watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski.
And I'm Emily Brown.
Belligerent, offensive, and inappropriate.
That's how Democrats are criticizing Wisconsin's 3rd District congressman over an outburst today.
According to Politico, Derek Van Orden cursed at White House staffers during a briefing on the attacks in Israel.
Van Orden reportedly shouted the presentation was pathetic. Then when a Jewish Minnesota Democrat shouted, "Shame on you," Van Orden dropped an F-bomb toward him.
Now, Van Orden's office sent us a statement, quote, "For 5 days, we have listened to the Biden administration minimize the role Iran played in the terrorist attack on Israel. They have dismissed the threat of Hezbollah joining Hamas in this war, and they refuse to acknowledge the role our government's $6 billion deal last month had in financing it all. Democrats are free to continue making excuses for Joe Biden, as they've done for the last 3 years, but I won't join them in defending their weak foreign policy stances."
Van Orden seems to say that the U.S. had a role in funding Hamas's attack on Israel. He is referring to $6 billion in Iranian oil assets the U.S. unfroze in exchange for a swap of 5 U.S. citizens. PolitiFact reports that the $6 billion is sitting in Qatar's central bank, and Iran has not accessed the account.
Now, the agreement says Iran can only use that money for humanitarian items, but other White House critics do point out that part of the deal would be hard to enforce.
Another former Wisconsin Supreme Court justice is telling Republicans to not move forward with impeachment against the court's newest liberal justice. Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos put together a panel of 3 former justices to investigate impeaching Justice Janet Protasiewicz. Now, one member of the panel, Justice John Wilcox, has advised Vos to not pursue impeachment, saying there's nothing to justify it. It came out yesterday that another panel member, former Justice David Prosser, was also against impeachment. It's not known what stance the 3rd member of the panel, former Justice Patience Roggensack, has toward impeachment. Vos floated the idea of impeaching Protasiewicz if she did not recuse herself from a redistricting lawsuit. Protasiewicz on Friday declined to recuse herself from the case after the court voted along partisan lines to hear the lawsuit.
Child care talks are once again center stage at Wisconsin's Capitol. A Senate committee put Governor Tony Evers' workforce development bill up for a public hearing today. The Committee on Economic Development and Technical Colleges invited child care providers to voice their support for child care counts. It's a program that used federal pandemic dollars to support child care providers. But right now, that program is going to be set to end in January. And so Evers' bill is calling for $340 million in state money to keep it going. Senator Brad Pfaff is on this Senate committee. His office says all child care providers urged lawmakers to continue the program today.
$500,000 in grants was awarded today to child care providers in La Crosse County. 37 child care providers were awarded grants between $1,450 to $22,000. La Crosse County provided the funds from its ARP allocation. The grants will go toward various capital projects like adding outdoor play equipment and covering liability insurance. The grants are also helping expand access to child care. As a result of the grants, another 21 new child care slots will be open in the county.
Amendments to a bill aimed at PFAS testing have made it worse. That's according to Town of Campbell Supervisor Lee Donahue. The Republican-authored bill aims to put grants toward PFAS cleanup efforts. But when it was first introduced, it was criticized for undercutting the active spills law, which says anyone who causes a hazardous spill in the environment has to clean it up. Donahue says the Republican bill will weaken the DNR's ability to test for PFAS or hold contaminators accountable. Now, Donahue says in a statement the new version of the bill will force small communities like Campbell to compete with commercial properties for a portion of these PFAS grants, shifting the responsibility of testing from polluters to taxpayers. Meantime, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel says the full Senate could vote on this bill as early as next week. All right, time now for a check of our Coulee region forecast, and for that we bring in Chief Meteorologist Greg Barnhart.
Yeah, we got a nice day today, but yeah, that's not going to happen tomorrow, unfortunately. So we did have nice temperatures today, 60-degree weather here, even mid-60s overall, so not bad really for this time of year, and probably the best conditions we're going to see probably for the next week here. Overall, we still got that area of precipitation and some cloud cover that is associated with the system out to the west, a very complex one that's beginning to push out of the Rockies into the plains, but overall just a little bit of rain showers just south of Prairie du Chien. We zoom in. Most of the cloud cover has stayed there. It has not made its way further north. All the cloud cover that we had with the low the previous few days has pushed off to the east. So generally clear skies this evening. So overall not too bad of conditions. Observed highs once again mid-60s in some areas, but overall pretty close to where we should be. A departure of average just a few degrees above, especially as you go further north. And the lows, yes, we did have some cold warnings once again, but we should not be dealing with any frost or freeze obviously for the rest of the season now as we head into winter. But overall temperatures should be the mid-40s as we go through this evening for Eau Claire. No issues to speak of. And then for La Crosse too, we're getting back down to around 50. So pleasant, decreasing winds and clouds. And coming up later, we're going to kind of spell out where Ken's trash can is going to end up in the next few days, because Friday it may be taking a tumble along being wet, and I'll explain all that here a bit later.
I think I gotta thank my lucky stars that garbage day is Monday, because
well, there you go.
the next couple
Well, at
days.
least you have a trash can. Mine's still in a U-Haul pod, you know.
In due time. In
Yes.
due time.
The South Community Library opened its doors back in 1922, but in its 101th year, journey is coming to an end December 1st.
News 8 Now's Michael Germain joins us live in the studio with the details on this impending closure. Good evening, Michael.
Ken and Emily, the South Community Library will be closing due to a staffing shortage and budget cut.
Well, it's really a city budget issue that has been long-term, and we know that it will continue.
The La Crosse Public Library's South location has faced a budget deficit cut by 2%, a cut that equates to more than $100,000.
This was under consideration when other budget impacts happened about 10 years ago. And we were able to avoid that closure by doing some efficiencies and restructuring.
Since 2010, the library has lost 20% of its employees, which has led to a shortage of workers.
Despite all those efficiencies and changes, we have tried to innovate, but are just at a point where we can no longer sustain 3 physical locations.
Grant says they are at a tipping point where they can't afford to lose staffing.
If it were just a short-term problem, we've certainly been for years trying to continue with short-term sort of innovations, but now we're at that point where it's just no longer sustainable. There's nothing else to cut.
With staffing being their largest expense, Grant says without the staff, nothing would be possible.
And without staffing, we really can't do anything. They're our greatest asset, but also that's a largest expense in any budget.
One man that I spoke to expressed his frustration after hearing the news.
You know, I've used that library, I've used the Northside Library, and mostly the main library, but I think it's going to be a disappointment for a lot of people. You know, it was advantageous for the city, you know, especially for the south side. My son actually lives right across the street from the library, and he used it. So I'm kind of disappointed in all different directions there that they're closing.
Grant says she's looking at mobile options to serve people who can't get to physical library locations. Ken and Emily, back to you.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Well, coming up tonight at 6, the death toll continues to climb in the war between Israel and Hamas.
As the crisis continues to worsen, the U.S. Secretary of State is heading to Israel.
The weekend to-do list. It's a lot easier with the help of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Attachments connect with ease, so you can knock out every task on your list. Whether you're moving earth, leveling a path, or mowing and mulching, one thing you're not doing is wrestling with the attachments. So you actually have time to enjoy your space and work on planning the next big project. John Deere 1 Series compact tractors. Versatile, easy, and affordable. Find yours at Tractor Central.
It's a John Deere day. Fall is here and the weather is getting colder, so call or go online to schedule your free consultation and get 50% off your new energy efficient windows from your home improvement company. That's right, your entire window project at half the cost. Our team of trained and certified professionals will ensure your project is done right the first time. And on top of that, we're offering no interest, no payments, and nothing down until 2025. Your home improvement company, where it's your home made better.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
The State Department confirms 22 Americans are among the dead in the savage terror attacks in Israel. The war has claimed more than 2,200 lives on both sides so far and catapulted to the top concern of the U.S. and other Israeli allies.
A warning to viewers, some images in this report are graphic. Bradley Blackburn has the latest from the United Nations.
Israel continues to bombard Gaza, in this video coming perilously close to a hotel typically used by aid workers and media, as Hamas fires rockets from within the embattled territory. Israel's military says it killed dozens of Hamas militants Wednesday hiding in the Be'eri kibbutz area. At the nearby Kfar Aza kibbutz, Israeli security forces say terrorists took brutality to a new level, decapitating children, including babies.
You see the babies, the mother, the fathers in their bedrooms.
The Israeli Defense Ministry released video of the first delivery of advanced U.S. weaponry. President Biden and Vice President Harris spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu again Wednesday morning, voicing unwavering support.
And this moment, we have to be crystal clear. There is no justification for terrorism.
The United Nations Secretary General called for the immediate release of more than 100 hostages held by Hamas and expressed serious concern for any spillover from the conflict. The Palestinian ambassador to the UN pleaded for aid to be allowed into Gaza's 2.3 million residents. Israeli airstrikes have taken out entire city blocks, and Gaza's only power plant has run out of fuel.
There has to be a humanitarian intervention in order to avoid a looming catastrophe.
The U.S. is discussing the issue of safe passage for civilians from Gaza.
Civilians are not to blame for what Hamas has done.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is headed to Israel as the crisis grows deeper by the day. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, the United Nations.
The USS Gerald Ford is now in the eastern Mediterranean to deter others from potentially jumping into this conflict.
Still ahead, a treehouse for everybody.
A lacrosse group holding a ribbon cutting ceremony today for a new universal treehouse.
And the answer to this question is probably yes, you'll need an umbrella tomorrow, but the bigger question is, can you hold on to it come Friday with the wind and the rain? I'll break down when to expect the rain, how strong those winds will be for Friday, and when we might dry out. All that coming up later in weather.
With a tankless system, you can have unlimited hot water whenever and for however long you need it. Upgrade to a tankless today and never be left without hot water again. Rely on Maxwell White, plumbing done right.
Save big on your next painting project with 11% off everything at Menards. DuraClean is an interior paint and primer in one. It comes in a variety of colors, and it's washable, scrubbable, and stain-resistant. A gallon of flat is just $22.95 after rebate. Finish your renovations with DuraClean Kitchen and Bath Interior Paint. With its mildew-resistant coating, it will protect your walls from frequent exposure to moisture. Get a gallon for $32.79 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome to Esco. Welcome to huge selection and savings. Join Wesco and Sparta to celebrate a fun Wisconsin tradition, Oktoberfest. All month long, save up to 20% off store-wide. Plus, as a thank you, you get a package of locally made brats and a free beverage from one of the local watering holes when you spend $499 or more. Wesco and Sparta, where white glove delivery and setup are always free. Tell them Peyton sent you.
No matter what kind of store you visit, no matter what kind of tobacco you ask for, it's illegal to sell tobacco products to anyone under 21. So remember to bring your ID. It will get checked. Because in Wisconsin, 21 means 21, no matter what.
Hey, great big flat screen TV. Why is it so cold in here?
You cold?
You know you can warm this place up, don't you?
Ya kidding me?
Sure. American Home Fireplace and Patio can warm up a rec room, family room, home theater, or man cave with a gas fireplace from Fireplace Extraordinaire, Mendota, wood stoves like Blaze King, Pacific Energy, Lopi. Didn't you know that?
Should I?
Do you always have to answer a question with a question?
Doesn't everyone?
American Home Fireplace and Patio.
We've done many, many renovations. We bought an old house and have made it into an up-to-date house. Whenever anything involves plumbing, the first call I make is to Maxwell White. Their technicians put together a great final product.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
Aura Trails is breaking barriers for children.
Today, the group held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate a new universal play structure at Chad Erickson Park.
The All Abilities Treehouse looks like a pirate ship and was made using whole logs. Kids at the ceremony rushed the treehouse to be one of the first to get to play on it. One organizer says seeing kids enjoying the treehouse reminded him of why he works in the park system.
For far too long, places to play haven't been accessible for people. And so seeing kids run onto it, seeing kids roll on with their wheelchair with just huge smiles, it reminds me of why the work we do is so vital and why it's so important.
Put a smile on our faces too. And if you'd like to play on the new pirate ship, you can visit Chad Erickson Park over on La Crosse's south side, located along the forest path to the park's outdoor classroom.
Well, let's take a look if it's good treehouse pirate ship weather to play on. Here's Greg Barnhart with our forecast.
Well, it's going to definitely, the two words here for the next couple days is it's going to stay dry really as we go into Friday too. So it's going to be a wet period. So staying inside, but activities outside will definitely be wet. We have showers developing late tonight. Most of the areas will start off dry tomorrow. It really starts ramping up towards tomorrow afternoon. And then the rain really is going to be moderate to maybe even heavy at times from Friday night, late Thursday night, Friday through early Saturday. And that's really when the wind's also going to peak up. Speaking of the wind, we got the winds increasing tomorrow. Won't be that bad and probably until the afternoon hours. But Friday morning, to me, it looks like really gusts to 40 with the heavy wind, heavy rain going on, and then the winds still start to decrease as we go through Friday into Saturday. But in the meantime, for tonight, we're going to see this band of clouds and some light showers really stay out of the way. We're just going to see a few clouds begin to increase towards the morning, but 6 a.m. still no precipitation to be expected. Clear skies up the north, increasing clouds to the south. We'll start to see that band approach maybe by the noon hour for La Crosse. So like again, it's a light to moderate band of rain that'll push up towards Eau Claire probably in the afternoon, late afternoon hours. So once you get north of Eau Claire, a lot of the day tomorrow will probably be dry. It won't be until the evening hours to see more of this rain. But this is at 8 and 9 o'clock, and once again, we might see a little bit of break further south of La Crosse, a little bit of drier air there towards the evening, but most of the area will be experiencing a wet Thursday evening commute, and that continues overnight too as the rain definitely starts to pick up along with the winds too as we go through. Big picture shows that influence of that system. You can see that low begin to track across Nebraska tomorrow. Really wraps up with the snow further west in Wyoming. There's one band that comes up. Here's another one that begins to approach here Thursday. Into Friday morning is when really the heaviest amount of rainfall. Strongest winds will probably come through the area. And once we get further to Friday evening. It begins to push off to the east, but it's not going to be until Saturday. We'll start seeing some improvement in the conditions. Really, Sunday looks overall the best day of the week here. We're going to start to see at least drier conditions. Winds will still be out of the north, so still cool conditions, but we shouldn't see much in the rainfall for Sunday. Going into the first part of next week, at least looks to start off dry with maybe some precip coming later in the week, but overall will be dry, much as we saw all these conditions. The amount of precipitation, rainfall we're seeing for tomorrow won't be that impressive yet, just some light amounts, mainly under a ½ inch for areas a little east of La Crosse. Starts to pick up a little bit more as you go further west. Now for the total system that we're looking at, it's still a potential for 2 to 3 inches in some of the areas. Once again, 1 to 2 further to the north, but the whole entire area is going to see quite a bit of rainfall. Could even see some daily record rainfall too with this amount as we go through. So that's the one big story we already spoke about. The other thing is the winds. Tomorrow, you'd be 15 to 20 in the afternoon, but it's really when we go to Friday morning, we're starting to see the speeds begin to increase, 20 to 25, even 30. And once again, these are sustained east winds, so gusts could be even higher than that. They'll linger through the afternoon hours, maybe drop off a little bit, but high school football still is to look to be wet and very windy conditions for pretty much the whole entire game. We'll see these winds drop off. Overall temperatures tonight, still fairly mild actually with clouds increasing, so temperatures overall in the 40s for most locations. Should be dry for everyone really. Tomorrow the rain begins to push up towards the area, mid-50s, a little bit upper 50s towards the north because they will hold off on the rain probably till the afternoon. 8-day forecast then gets real wet for Friday the 13th, and we go through Saturday, and then we finally dry out by Sunday through early next week, but temperature is going to remain in the 50s, which is below average by the time we get to end of next week. That's about where we should be anyway.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, Greg, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And coming up next in sports, the Vikings are hoping to turn things around against division rival Chicago this weekend. I love how Greg gets his hand in the shot, too. Plus, the Badgers are looking to bring that Heartland Trophy back to Madison on Saturday. Wisconsin renewing another rivalry. Rob's got it next.
Don't be tricked by sales and free stuff. Better products at better prices on all your home improvements during the 2023 Fall Home Show at the Board Store Home Improvements. Don't miss it.
At All Auto, buy 3 tires at our everyday low price and get the 4th for free. Plus, you'll still get any manufacturer rebates. If you can find a better deal anywhere, we'll match it. But we'll be surprised if you do. Learn more at dollauto.com. Simple.
Hello. This is a real lawyer. Yeah, I've won 1 million cases, and I'm on a bunch of billboards.
Whoa, 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 buddy. If they want the real Nicolay, they should get the real Nicolay.
Fine.
Thank you. Russell Nicolay here. Yeah, we can help.
In a world full of choices, make sure you get the real Nicolay.
How'd you even get in here? What are you doing answering calls? Where's your mom, man?
It's the biggest event in King Furniture's history, a complete and total liquidation of all in-stock items in our store. Shop over $2 million of quality name brand furniture priced for immediate liquidation. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to save as never before on living room, dining room, bedroom furniture, and more. When each and every piece of furniture has been sold, King Furniture will shut down for 30 to 60 days for a complete and total renovation. Don't miss the King Furniture Total Liquidation Sale going on now.
Hey, Dominic here to show you how to make an easy party mix using our original and garlic salt seasoning. Combine melted butter, Worcestershire sauce, garlic salt seasoning, and original seasoning. Mix with corn, rice, and wheat checks, mixed nuts, pretzels, and bagel chips. Cook at 250 for 1 hour, stirring every 15 minutes. You can even add caution seasoning if you want some heat. Get original and garlic salt seasoning and 38 other blends at our outlet store on Ward Avenue, La Crosse. So where's the party?
The service departments at the Doll Auto Group are staffed by the most experienced team in the region. Whether you're buying a used car they've inspected or driving home one they've serviced, you can trust their work for years to come. Doll Auto, simple.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now's Rob Schiff.
We're just 3 days away from one of the biggest rivalries in college football. The Badgers and Hawkeyes have been going at it since the late 1890s, but it wasn't until the early 2000s that there was a prize involved. The Heartland Trophy has been in Iowa City since last year's encounter. Badgers hoping to bring it back to Madison this time around. Wisconsin leads the all-time series against the Hawkeyes, but it's been Iowa coming out on top in 2 of the last 3 meetings. It was all Hawkeyes last season on their home field. Iowa taking care of business 24-10 the final in that one, and the Hawkeyes regaining possession of the Heartland Trophy. But Badgers running back Braylon Allen says during fall camp, players from the past come to talk about their biggest rivalries. Iowa was at the top of the list this time. Badgers will get the chance to take back that trophy and keep it in Madison on Saturday.
Regardless of position, regardless of year in school, whatever factors there are, I think this is a game that everybody has circled, especially after the way it went last year. Knowing and understanding, you know, every day in the locker room we walk past an empty trophy case. So just seeing that every single day brings a lot of excitement to this game for us.
Badgers, Hawkeyes this Saturday from Camp Randall. Kickoff is set for 3 p.m. On to the pros now. It's been a rough few weeks for the Vikings. Minnesota's off to a 1-4 start through 5 weeks of the regular season. And now the Vikings will be without their best offensive player for at least the next month. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson being placed on IR this week. The wideout will be forced to miss at least the next 4 games. And for this team, they can't afford to fall any deeper than they already have. The players say they're confident that other guys will step up when their number's called.
You know, with Justin being out, you know, it's a great opportunity for us to be able to show our depth and get some other guys some opportunities.
You know, you never know what will happen in a football season, so, you know, we're ready for it, and the next guys will step up and go make some plays.
It's just a great opportunity for some other guys, you know. I mean, obviously we're going to miss Justin for sure, but, you know, just an opportunity, and that's how you have to look at it.
But I'm going to put our fellow Houstonian on the hot seat here.
Oh, boy.
If you're a Twins fan at home, maybe cover your ears, your eyes. She's been right the last couple of times, so what do you got tonight? Game 4. It's a do or die for the Twins. If they lose, their season's over. Be careful.
Astros.
Oh, wow. No hesitation.
No hesitation. I mean, she's
Astros.
got guts. She's got guts. I give her that.
They're in Houston, right?
They are not.
They are not.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Does that change the prediction?
No,
oh,
no,
okay.
Astros.
Just Astros.
Confidence. I love the confidence.
We'll be right back.
Holman Locker and Meat Market, your place for fresh, quality, local meat. Now's the time to stock up with our fall bundle. Call and order yours today. Eat healthy, shop local at your Holman Locker and Meat Market, and much, much more.
Do the plans for your new home include a fireplace? Is your builder using Lacrosse Fireplace Company? Our showroom has over 70 units on display to help inspire you. We'll design more than just your Heat and Glow fireplace. We'll help you pick the perfect stone, mantle, and hearth, making your Heat and Glow fireplace the focal point of your new home. Visit our showroom today or call us for your free estimate. Lacrosse Fireplace Company, Mormon Coulee Road, because your place is by the fire.
It's Blaine's Farm and Fleet's big snacking and candy event. Right now, save on our massive one-of-a-kind selection of craveable candies, nuts, trail mixes, and more. Like new Blaine's brand milk chocolate caramels, gummy swirly fish, or sweet and crunchy trail mix, $3.99 each. New Blaine's maple glazed almonds, just $6.99. And while you're in for snacks, save $150 on this 4-pack of DeWalt batteries, now $179. Plus, Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland is nearly here. Opening weekend starts Saturday, October 14th.
Stock up this month with the Holman Locker and Meat Market's 10-pound sale. Save on pork loin roast, ground beef, chicken breast, and chuck roast. Please call to order. Holman Locker and Meat Market, and much, much more.
All right, rain ramps up tomorrow, especially tomorrow afternoon, and expect to get wet probably by this time tomorrow. Otherwise, Friday looks just wet and windy conditions. Once again, that Friday morning commute will be windy and wet, especially the wind. So something to keep in mind if you're out and about this Friday and especially this Saturday.
All right, just can't overstate it.
All right. Well, thank you for watching us at 6.
Hope to see you tonight at 10.